Why would anyone own a football team? As the Barclays Premier League has gained prominence around the world, football clubs in the United Kingdom have also drawn the attention of prospective owners from other countries. This is even though local purchasers have been interested in purchasing football clubs for a long time. Owning a football club is a statement that you're at a certain level as a businessman, says Dan Jones, who is headquartered in Manchester, United Kingdom, and is the lead partner of the sports business group at Deloitte Consulting, which is based in New York. But status is not the only factor to consider. In the past, English clubs were frequently owned by local merchants. These merchants' enterprises either had some sort of relation to football, or they manufactured things that football fans might purchase. A good example of this is the Liverpool Football Club, which was owned by members of the Moores family for a considerable amount of time. The Moores family had acquired their riches via the Littlewoods Football Pools Company. Throughout its 132-year history, Manchester United has been owned by a butcher, a clothes manufacturer, and a brewer. Simon Wilson, a partner at the restructuring and advisory practice of Zulfo Cooper, a New York-based corporate advisory firm, provides the following statement. A businessman could derive personal and potentially commercial benefits from an association with a football club. Seats in the box. It is Mr. Wilson's opinion that one of these advantages would be the utilization of the director's box to establish connections with prospective business customers. However, according to Mr. Wilson, who works out of the Manchester office of Zulfo Cooper and has advised several football clubs on their financial affairs, as the wages of players have increased significantly over the past few decades. Many of the traditional owners of English football have realized the magnitude of the financial commitment that is required to keep these clubs successful on the pitch. Do you want to be perceived in the local community as the reason why a club has failed? He asks. Do you want to be the reason it has failed? At this time, there are not a lot of people in the world who are willing to provide financial support to a Premiership club. When it comes to those who are willing to purchase a Barclays Premier League team, investors from the United States may be the ones who are most interested. This is because they believe that they can make ownership of a top club operate as a sustainable business over time. What they want is the global reach of football with an American business model, says Professor Stephen Szymanski, an expert on the business of football at London's Cass Business School. What they want is more than just a global reach for football. There is a global television audience that is worth billions and billions of dollars, and if you can get that audience to watch the league, you'll be able to make some serious money. As the program director for Liverpool University's Master of Business Administration in Football Industries, Rory Miller provides support for this perspective on the reasons why Americans are interested in the Barclays Premier League. The goal of American owners is to utilize their management expertise to capitalize on assets that are not performing as expected. He indicates, as an illustration, the marketing department at Liverpool Football Club has experienced tremendous growth over the past 18 months after the club was acquired by owners from the United States. To improve their sports marketing, they are bringing in American experts. Growth on a global scale. The Glazer family, who already owned an American football franchise, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, decided to purchase Manchester United. This explains their decision. According to Professor Szymanski, the Glazers come from a background in the National Football League, which is the highest level of American professional football and a game that is quite different from English football or soccer. However, the one thing that they see that football has that the NFL does not have is the potential for global growth. And despite the recent takeover proposal for Manchester United that was made by a group of affluent supporters known as the Red Knights, which was led by Keith Harris, chairman of the investment firm Seymour Pierce, which is situated in London, Professor Szymanski believes that the Glazers are here to stay. He thinks that the way they have been behaving at Tampa Bay demonstrates that they are devoted to the team for the long run. It would appear that they have no intention of selling the team, even though they purchased a franchise that was in a precarious position, turned it around, and won the Super Bowl. According to Professor Szymanski, the timing of the Glazers' acquisition of Manchester United in 2005, Randy Lerner's purchase of Aston Villa in 2006, and Tom Hicks and George Gillett's acquisition of Liverpool in 2007 are further indications that these American businessmen are playing a long game. All three of these acquisitions occurred in the same year. He notes that a significant number of these investments from Americans in English football clubs occur in a period in which the value of the pound sterling was quite high in comparison to the dollar, indicating that these were not short-term investments. The question of whether or not a team in the Barclays Premier League can generate a profit that can be maintained over the long term is irrelevant. However, even though many clubs are currently barely making a profit and others are losing money year after year, there are a few business people who have been able to generate a healthy return from their ownership of a club over time. According to how these clubs operate, the notion that they are going to be yielding assets, such as by paying a dividend on an annual basis, is not accurate. Mr. Jones, who works with Deloitte, thinks that from the perspective of capital growth, These developments can make sense. To a certain extent, they are classified as a rare item, similar to a classic automobile, a collection of great wines, or an artwork of exceptional quality. They have an inherent value for buyers who are interested in purchasing them because of their scarcity and desirability. It is agreed upon by Dr. Miller of Liverpool University. According to him, football clubs are generally considered to be a trophy asset. As long as a football club continues to play on the pitch at the same level as it did when you purchased it, then it will continue to hold value and will most likely enhance its worth. You consider it a long-term asset that you anticipate will increase in value. The asset is appreciating. On the other hand, Dr. Miller warns that it is risky to presume that a football club will always be an asset that is increasing in value. It is also possible for football teams to be an asset that depreciates rapidly. Mike Ashley, the owner of Newcastle United, has not been able to sell the club even at a significantly reduced price ever since the club moved down from the Premiership to the Championship. That merely demonstrates the peril of being relegated or demoted. According to Professor Grant of Warwick University, another method for reaping financial benefits from the ownership of a football team is to purchase a club that competes in the Championship, which is the level below the Barclays Premier League, and then attempt to achieve promotion to the Premier League. He continues by saying, however, that club will require a decent catchment area that possesses a fan base that is capable of being expanded, a contemporary stadium, and a team that has potential. It has been suggested by him that Cardiff City Football Club could be an appropriate option. After leaving the city of Cardiff, it is possible to travel in any direction for a considerable distance without coming across a competing club, and you have a large population of people who could potentially become supporters. An example of how high the dangers associated with owning a football club, especially one that competes in the Barclays Premier League, may be provided by Portsmouth FC, who filed for bankruptcy in February. This serves as an explanation of how high the risks can be. One of the most important problems is that only a small number of Premier League clubs have ever managed to turn a profit consistently. The recession has brought this to light, says Sean Hamill, an expert on sports financing who teaches in the Department of Management at Birkbeck College, which is part of the University of London. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe for more videos. In the comments section of the post, please tell me how many you discovered.